Alright, noble ones, this is it. Netflix is on a medieval rampage. First the outlaw king, then the king. Next, king? Seriously though, I'm pretty happy they're doing all this medieval stuff because, you know, soldiers, crossbows, knights, hot princes. The Middle Ages are the best. But enough about that, did they get it right? On my channel, as you know, we review the authenticity of the armour and the overall look of the costumes and the setting from a historical standpoint of movies and video games. Some people consider that a useless exercise and they make that very clear in the comment section. The reason being they actually think I'm attacking the film video game that is being evaluated. I'm not. In this community we are fully aware that wrong costume design does not detract from the entertainment experience a movie with good actors and a catchy plot can deliver. Notwithstanding, that's a fancy word, I do this for two reasons. Okay, I'll quit the epic music. Goodness gracious. Reason number one, it's an opportunity to learn. Reason number two, it helps clear misconceptions the movies tend to spread. With that being said, how's the film? Excellent choice of actor for King Henry. We can already see his acting skills are through the roof. Good actor, good choice. So, King Henry was the King of England who fought in France during the 100 Years' War. Now this film is a free adaptation of the historical play Henry V, made by Shakespeare. Shakespeare. Oh my goodness, I never thought of that. So brace yourselves, this movie could have the Battle of Agincourt in it. Sir Capwell, charge! More on that later. So let's start with the armour. There are evident problems with the armour department, but I'd like to commend them as well, because at least with the latest Netflix medieval productions, we are starting to see some effort into making the armour look better, if compared to previous movies. So medieval purists like me and you also have to notice the good things, not just complaining about what's wrong. Remember, we went from knitted mail to fully riveted mail. I commend them for that. Also, look at this image here. Finally, shiny, polished, clean plates on a knight. Exactly how it would have been, given during the battle the men-at-arms and knights are well covered in mud, to a point that really makes me wonder, what happened? How do these guys fight? But hey, dirty and bloody armour during the actual combat? Sure. Dirty, rusty and broken armour before and after the battle? No. Knights had squires polished, cleaned and had the armour repaired. Knights had the money and they wanted the best the money could buy, because again, broken, unattended and rusty gear won't work. Rust makes the layers of iron and steel more and more subtle and eventually eats up the metal, and you don't want to wear a rusty breastplate in battle hoping it will do its job, because one, his life depends on it, two, no one will employ them otherwise. So I love this shot. Or do I? Because I mean, yes, the plates are clean, so that's a nice thing, but this shot has one main problem. We're in the early 15th century, right? Now, who are these men? These are the king's best men, his closest knights. What that means is that they have to be wearing the up-to-date, bestest armour available. Well, the guy on the left is okay. He's wearing an open-faced bassinet with an attached aventail. But the guy in the middle, literally mate, he's wearing just a mail coif. Now already that's a sort of thing that would have happened perhaps in the 13th century. If we really want to be generous, perhaps very early 14th century, but this is definitely at least 150 years old technology for him. What's wrong with you? And that is if the mail was actually covering, but it's not. So it's not only too old-fashioned, but it is also wrong. The face is unprotected, the throat is unprotected. Real male coifs would cover all the way up to the chin, and also he should be wearing something underneath it, like either a cigarette helm. You miserable cheap bastard, says the king. Movie tropes, you gotta love them. It's like in the movies and games now. Templars have got to have a Cockney accent, right? That's what a Templar sounds like. Or a Roman. All this digging is killing me back, and they call work noble bastards, says the king. What about the quality of the armour represented? Well, you can tell that the main actors are wearing steel, while the mass is wearing really bad looking costume armour, which is probably synthetic, some kind of plastic, spray painted grey probably. Not the first time. We have seen this happen both in the film Centurion, where the segmented armour clearly was some sort of plastic. In 300 Rise of an Empire, same thing. Naturally, a movie has a budget. We can't expect them to spend over $10,000 per soldier to make this movie as good looking as a reenactment fair. Although, what I would do if I were the filmmaker of a medieval movie is I would literally go to a reenactment group. Why? Because reenactors have excellent gear and they already own it. I would offer to pay the reenactors to participate to a few scenes of my movie so I don't actually have to buy the armour, if not for the main actors, and I get the perfect shot. Just an idea. The king's armour is where I have a big problem. This is the king we're talking about. Why is he not in full plate? We are in the early 15th century. By this time, mail alone was not considered adequate protection anymore. Why? Because longbow arrows and crossbow bolts could easily penetrate even riveted mail. A king with no helmet and just wearing mail makes absolutely no sense. Plate armour was the only thing that could really protect you from the weapons of the time. Yes, in some scenes he's wearing a breastplate, but that's it. Not enough. Not realistic. Not the king. Not even a common soldier, to be honest, by this time. But hey, with the king is like more incredible, if you will.
Because I mean, he's the king. Where's the armour of the king? I want to see the armour of the king.
And no helmet? That is one suicidal king, mate. By the way, talking about kings, have you ever heard this one? In medieval England there was once a king who was only 30 centimeters tall, but he still made a great ruler. But to be honest, even if we compare the modern Netflix production with the old Ivanhoe, that movie's far from being perfect. They sport a very uncommon weapon. The one-handed flail might not even have existed, to be honest, and sheet metal heater shield, which actually didn't exist. We know that original triangular medieval shields were made of wood, but the mail looks good, actually. Even better, as the king has the typical Indian galvanized mail. In the old Ivanhoe, the mail covers the chin, as it should, according to medieval iconography at least. In the king, sometimes it does, but often we have the baggy open throat mail that should not exist. Sometimes they got it almost right, like here. But it still has that zinc plated colour, very light grey, that makes everyone look like a lamppost. I very much resent. Also, please read this book. So, if they do end up making the Battle of Agincourt, I do have the following questions. Will we have longbow arrows penetrating full plate armour? If the answer is yes, that's not historical. If you want the evidence of that, check out this fantastic video. Will we have archers shooting in the air and showering the enemy? Again, that's a movie trope, far established by professional academics. Eyewitness accounts and pictorial evidence, and this man say medieval archers shot straight at people. Also, because think about it, why would medieval archers practice accuracy for years? And we know they did if all they needed to do was shooting randomly in the air hoping for the shower of arrows to get kills. A medieval longbow archer was a freaking sniper, and they made each shot count. So shooting a king in full plate, not gonna get through. Shooting a king in mail and with no helmet, well, hello. So to cut a long story short, this is just a trailer. We still don't know, but to what I can see, I reckon this could be a very entertaining movie, and I am definitely gonna watch it. But this specific time, it's not an easy one to represent in a movie. Historical times such as that of the Viking raids in England was already completely misrepresented by the TV drama Vikings. The richer Vikings should have been wearing mail. Instead, we see a late 16th century burgonet in the head of a soldier belonging to the 9th century. So getting the era where plate was the thing is a lot harder, because good replicas of full plate armor are very expensive. I've worked in the production of a movie a few years ago, and as a set production assistant, the film was set in ancient Rome with a crew from Independence Day among others, and what I've learned from that is that movie makers pay locals, non-professional actors all the time to take part as extras, and they do fly their crews to several different locations around the globe for specific scenes all the time. So fly your crew and your leading actors to a reenactment event, pay 100 reenactors to participate with their gear, and boom, you've got the most historically accurate, outstanding movie ever made, and you didn't even have to buy anything. Anyhow, I'm really looking forward to this film, and if you liked this little brief trailer review, well, let me know with a thumbs up, possibly. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and also let me know if you want me to review this movie when it comes out, like the entire movie. If you like this sort of videos, please check out my full review of the Outlaw King, and you will find a link in the description below. And if you like my work, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Even a $1 donation can make the difference. Thank you so much, noble ones, and remember, the Metatron has spread his wings. Goodbye. I'm gonna go play Dragon's Dogma now. What?